Okay, we're finally on the last page, page 6 of section 6.2. And as you can see here, I've already gone ahead and made some markings on the picture just to save time. Let's go ahead and read it. It says the measure of arc DC is equal to 30 degrees. So we know that that's this part I'm doing in blue, okay? And that is, we'll go ahead and mark that like that. That's 30 degrees. So if I mark over here, 30 degrees. Okay, and then we're also told that D, A, B, C, that arc is trisected, okay, at points A and B. So what does trisected mean? Well, bisected means in 2, so trisected means in 3. So trisected means 3 equal pieces. Okay, so we know that all the way around is 360, right? We have this piece equal to 30. So how much does DABC have to be? Well, it has to be 360 minus 30. So let's write this down. We know that the measure of DABC has to equal 360. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? Sorry about that. Measure of angle or arc DABC has to equal 360 degrees minus this piece right here, minus arc DC, which is 30 degrees. So we know that all the way around from D to C has to equal 330 degrees. Okay, so that's what we have for the yellow, the orange, and the pink. So that's what's left over. Well, if we've trisected that, we've divided this into 3 equal pieces. So let's trisect it. So we take M, the measure of this, and divide it by 3, which means that we're taking 330 and dividing by 3. So it's equal to 110. So each piece, so the measure of DA equals 110, that arc. The measure of AB, arc AB equals 110. And the measure of arc BC equals 110. That's what's left for all of them. Okay, so we'll do 110 here, 110, let me move this over, 110 here, and 110 here. Okay, so just to make certain that we've done it right, let's go ahead and add it up. 110, 110, 110 is 330, and another 30 makes 360. So all the way around is 360. Okay, now we can start answering the question of these different pieces. Okay, so what do they ask us in the first problem? They ask us in A to find the measure of angle 1. So let's go ahead and do measure of angle 1. Okay, so angle 1 here, notice this is the little angle 1. Where is its vertex? Its vertex is on the circle. So we're going to say vertex on circle. Okay, so when the vertex is on circle, that's an inscribed angle. What is the formula? The formula says it's half the measure of its intercepted arc. So here's our angle. Okay, what is it? Arc does it intercept? The blue one. Okay, so we're going to say, oops, that's DC. Okay, so DC, arc DC. So the measure of angle 1 is equal to 1/2 the measure of DC. DC is 30 degrees. So the measure of angle 1 equals 15 degrees. Got our first answer there. Okay, so now we're going to go on to, how about I write that that's part, oh, I did write it was part A. Okay, part B now. Part B. Okay, so what is part B? Measure of angle 2. Okay, so here's angle 2. Do you see that angle 2 also inscribed? So angle 2 is vertex is on the circle. So again, we would be able to say that measure of angle 2 is equal to, well, half of its intercepted arc. So let's look. Let's trace out angle 2. Angle 2 goes from here to here. So what are the ends of its angle? It traces out arc AB is what it intercepts. So the measure of arc AB. All right, so let's plug in what we know that to be. We know arc AB measures 110. So half of that would be 55 degrees. So we've got measure of angle 2 done. Okay, part C. Measure of angle, let's see, trying to keep everything in here. Okay, so let's see. Measure of C is measure of angle 3. So where is angle 3? Angle 3 is this guy. Notice its vertex is outside the circle. So angle 3 vertex outside circle. Okay, so what's the formula for that? Well, if you remember, that's the smallest angle you can get. So it's going to be 1/2 the difference of the intercepted arcs. Okay, so let's take a look here. Angle F, its rays go all the way out like that. So the big arc that it intercepts is AB. Then we subtract what's the small arc it intercepts right here, this blue one. Okay, and that is DC. All right, so let's put in what we know. Arc AB is 110 right here. Sure you can see that. Yes, 110. Minus arc DC, the smaller one, that's 30. Okay, so we have 1/2. We've got to take the difference of those, which is 80. And what do we get there? 1/2 of that is 40. So that's the measure of angle 3. Okay, so on to part D, the measure of angle 4. So let's move that one up here. Okay, so angle 4, notice where it is. Angle 4 is right here. So its vertex is inside the circle. So angle 4, vertex inside, not the center, okay, of circle. All right, so what is the formula there? Well, if you remember what you're supposed to do, it's 1/2 the measure, the sum of the measures of the intercepted arc. So let's talk about it. What do we do? Well, when we're looking at this angle, it intercepts DC. Remember here you're adding, then you're adding the other arc it intercepts, the vertical angle. So the vertical angle would be E. It goes from A to B. There we go. So what do we get here? We get 1/2. What's the measure of arc DC? 30. What's the measure of AB? 110. So we add those two together, and we get 140. And 1/2 of that would be 70. Okay, one last one, angle 5. So notice angle 5, same idea. Its vertex is inside the circle. So angle 4, or oops, angle 5 I'm talking about here, angle 5. Vertex is inside, but not the center of the circle. So what's the formula there? It's equal to 1/2 the sum of the intercepted arcs. So let's see what we're doing. Here's angle 5. Okay, so look at these, look at angle 5. Its rays go to here, so C to here to B. So its intercepted arc is CB. Oops, I need a measure. I guess I can sneak it in there. Okay, plus. Then you look at its vertical angle. What's its vertical angle? It's this one here too. So what does its ray go to? To D. All the way what? Here's the other one. It goes to what? A. So the intercepted arc there is DA. Okay, so the measure of angle 5 is equal to 1/2. What's the measure of CB? CB is 110 plus DA is 110. So what do we get there? We get 1/2 of 220 or 110. All right, that's the last one. One little note I want to make. I want to go back to this page and just point out to you that all of the formulas have 1/2 with the exception of the central angle. So remember that when you're doing these problems. They have the formula 1/2 unless it's the central angle. Okay, that concludes section 6.2.